All right, we're back again. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna watch the YouTube channel once again called Aya Nakazawa, and the title of the video is "Japanese Girl is Playing with You: Three Obvious Signs Japanese Women Explain with Solutions." So I'm kind of curious, So every culture, every type of woman can be like a thirst trap, that they're just or a gold digger or whatever. They're looking for something specific that you have to offer or might offer them, but they're not going to give you anything in return. So it's like an investment, but you're not going to get anything in return. It's a game, it's a trick, it's a trap, and it happens a thousandfold for a lot of thirsty men. So let's get into it.
You can't tell if a Japanese girl likes you or not. Dating Japanese women is very unique. If you don't understand the rules, you will just end up confused, hurt, and wasting your time. But once you know the patterns, you will win. Today, I will show you major three signs a Japanese girl is playing a game with you, as well as the solutions for each one. So, number one, the hidden meaning game. I want you to feel how I feel without me clearly saying it. In Japan, it's considered elegant for women to be sexually reserved. If they openly say, I want it, people will judge them as easy. And that's why Japanese girls often don't say it.
Wait, isn't that like this is kind of interesting because this is kind of like in anime how female anime characters get projected, right? As shy and timid and like blushing, but then a bombshell, you know what I mean? Like their libido is so high, but they're gonna pretend they're innocent and shy and etc. And a lot of guys actually like that role playing stuff as well, and that's why you get these guys that have like this Asian fetish and whatever. But if I just think about it in general, yeah, there are a lot of Asian cultures that want a man to know and understand the needs and the emotional needs and the physical needs of a woman of or their woman without her having to ask, explain, or brutally express themselves because it's a no-no. It's like taboo, and this is facts. Like this is facts. I think there is this wrong perception of Asian women in general that they're cold, that they don't enjoy it, that they don't want it, that they're basically asexuals, like by default. This is a wrong perception. I think this stereotype is wrong. I don't think that there is that much difference if you're having, if you're attracted, you're having intercourse because of attraction with an African lady, an Arab lady, an American lady, a European lady, a Russian lady, or a Japanese lady. I don't really think that the whole thing changes because of cultural dynamics. I do believe that it influences how they express themselves or how they signal or communicate these needs. That's true. But then at the same time, can't they use it by playing this pull and push thing when they want to hint at you by sublime messages or body language, and then you lean in and then they push you away? Because this stuff does happen a lot amongst Asian women, I've noticed. As initial stages at least. Sometimes even longer.
I admit that I also used to say, dame. So dame means I don't want it or stop it. Because of the same pressure, it took me more than 6 years to get out of it. But when a Japanese girl gets into an official relationship, her attitude changes completely. Getting in a relationship means it's acceptable to be intimate. Once she knows that it's an official relationship, feels your love, and starts loving you back, she will finally say, I want it, and mean it. You might wonder why she keeps saying, dame, dame. Yeah, yeah. Japanese guys know it's a code for I want it. So they enjoy the game of doing what they shouldn't do.
That's what I was thinking. It's like this mind game, right? This is like this mind game. It's also what a lot of guys believe, that when a woman says yeah, like no, then he means yes. Hi. But how many times did that backfire in your own personal experience? I understand that it can turn into this game, right? It's a psychological game, mind game. But how many times did this happen to a guy when she says no, she means yes, but then eventually she decides to stick with no, and the guy does it anyways because he thinks it's a game, and then gets accused of, you know, uh, that's the messed up part of this. That's why I always say I don't want no mind games. Either you clearly signal to me or explain to me what you want, what you need, be direct and instant, but don't play any games. I don't mind flirting, I don't mind teasing, I don't mind doing all of that. But when it becomes like I'm saying no, I'm saying no, but internally I'm saying yes, please, please, then I'm like, I'm gonna have to take my distance because I can't do this.
But they still do. That's why affairs and cheating are so common here. It's exciting and gives a thrill. And because being single is seen as a shameful, it lowers status. People keep the couple label but play on the side. That's
That sounds so much as any type of series out there, right? Like it's like everybody does it. Like it's so normalized these days. It doesn't matter where you live, who you are, what culture. You like to eat some dessert at the side while you already have the main course, right? But yeah, I mean, in Asian cultures, like for example, South Korea and in Japan and China, your status increases if you have a university degree and you work for a specific company and you have a specific title or label, and salary, yearly income. Your status increases when you have a home, when you have a house, when you have property, you own property. Your status increases when you have a woman, when you're married. Your status increases when you have children. So your status can increase constantly, and you can max it out in your own advantage to appeal to a broader audience and have more options. And of course, people are going to flex that and then use that to, like I said, eat dessert at the side while they're still having their main course, right? And you can't stop it. It's just people seeing it as easy access. Why not? I think many people say, well, like, why not? Why not? Regardless if it's a sin, right? But then again, it messes a person up as well because it shows that you lack loyalty. I personally thought that, like many people have this perception of Japanese culture as people that are humble, modest, hardworking, dedicated, loyal, disciplined. Like these things are typical associated with Japanese people, Japanese culture. Like, but with the Nihonjin this. But then at the same time, you see that there is something else happening behind the scenes as well, but it's just taboo. Like everybody knows it's in human nature to have the temptation to cheat, but then your character formation and the strong will and discipline and being in control of your own emotions and lust makes you the better person. So who you want to be? Do you want to be the person that lusts after everyone and just does it because why not? Because of flexing and easy accessibility that comes with it? Or do you believe in loyalty, devotion, and monogamy with this one person, and you stick with it and find power and strength within that as it should be? I mean, what do you do?
the reality of the Japanese dating game. By the way, I know dame means give it to me in Spanish. So dame might be the same meaning in Japanese. Just kidding. So solution, you don't need to be played the game. Tell her, I know in Japan, dame or no can mean yes, but I don't play that way. I won't judge you. I'll be honest with you. So can you try to be honest with me?
So basically, her psychology, her own personal psychology is that you got to find a Japanese woman that doesn't do that and is direct. So you got to be selective.
And as a Japanese person, I know how hard it is to deal with this kind of situation. That's exactly why in my program, I help men understand these hidden patterns and build real love with Japanese women.
I would just call it a speed course of 3 minutes, how to avoid dummy ladies. That's what I would call it. Like 5 steps to avoid them constantly and be successful or something like that.
If you're tired of wasting time, want clarity about your own situation, you can book a free clarity session with me. Let's see how I can help you. Number two, the check in trap. They say, let's go, or I want to go, sounding excited. But when you actually ask for a date, they're never free or they just ignore it. Even if you say something 5 to 7 days ahead and send a confirmation the day before, they might say, oh, I thought you canceled. Like, what the right? This comes from Japanese business culture, a crucial communication principle called horenso, means like report, contact, and consult.
Honto. I mean, I'm not surprised. That's the corporate mindset kicking in. That's what cultural brainwashing because of the corporate system does to people, that they operate on that level. And I can see that too with people I'm working with. They're so focused, so those lines blur if it comes to private life, and then they just adopt that same thing into their private life if it comes to dealing with people in personal and private relationships. And that's really messed up. I don't like that, because then you can better go with an AI girlfriend. You know what I mean? They always have time. They always make time. But yeah, it's an issue. It's I'm always grinding. I'm always working. I'm getting that bag. I'm getting that bread. So I'll try to squeeze you in, but I can't promise, and things can change overnight. So please don't keep it against me. And at some point, you're like, okay, just forget about it. You're not serious. Get the hell out. I'm going to look for someone else. And then I go for a village girl, a country girl that always have time, because they don't live that corporate lifestyle. They don't live that Tokyo lifestyle or that Kyoto lifestyle or the Osaka lifestyle. So
In Japan, even the smallest change is supposed to be updated. People see frequent check ins as respect and care. So if you don't do it, they assume you don't care and you will just look unserious. So, solution to this, keep it simple. Send a short message every day or two, like how are you, or you still good for the day. That little effort makes a big difference and show them you actually value the plan.
it also demonstrates that a guy is thirsty and needy if it becomes too much. And that's something that people should know as well. Maybe not if it comes to, Japanese, non-Japanese interaction. But to me, if a guy constantly is like texting to make sure the plans are going through, the date is going to happen, then he's just desperate. But then he doesn't have any options.
So, number three, the high context trap. Japanese girls don't often say things directly, whether it's a compliment or when they want something. Instead of saying, I want to have intimacy with you, they might say, I don't like you, or why are you so mean to me? When they want to compliment your cooking,
Kind of sounds like my mom back in the days when I used to visit her. She would always be like, "You don't love me anymore," emotional blackmailing me. You don't love me anymore. You don't love me anymore. Like, why are you even asking me this damn question? Why are you even asking me that? How dare you ask me that? If I didn't love you, I would not be here spending time with you, right? Like, but I get it. I get it. It's against some mind game, some damn mind game.
they won't say, this is delicious, but something like, this is better than McDonald's or McDonaldo. Of course, not everyone is like this, but this is just an example. Japanese culture is very high context, which means words themselves are not the main message. 80 to 90% of the meaning comes from the atmosphere, actions, and facial expressions rather than the literal words. So, solution to this, if it's playful, take it as part of the culture.
I think one thing she's missing out is also that there are a lot of neurotic guys, like me included. I'm on the spectrum now. If a woman plays games like that and says those words verbally, I'm gonna respond to it and I'm gonna analyze, break it down, and come with a reaction, and that's not gonna be positive. So, I mean, for men that are experienced if it comes to the dating game and the dating scene, they can see through it. I mean, I'm fully aware of that. But for guys that are on a spectrum that are not really familiar with female psychology or dating in general and respond a certain way because of the neuroticism, then yeah, that's another problem that needs to be addressed. But how do you do that then? How do you deal with it then, like for me it's not easy either. Like I'm with an Indonesian lady at the moment, and I really care a lot about her. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's sometimes also difficult to understand her because of the way she expresses herself, and I have to read between the lines. And I don't want to play mind games just to be able to understand the person I'm with, because it's going to bring me stress. It's going to bring up tensions. It's going to make me not want to invest as much because it's frustrating, right? And people can be like, I can learn, you adapt, over time, things change, you can improve. Once you figure things out, it's going to be fine. True. I mean, I believe that if you're a positive person, but if you're like a realist or a pessimist, then it's not really that easy to convince yourself, to be like, yeah, just give it some time. The moment I figure it out, then I don't even have to question it anymore. Then I know instantly what she means, regardless of what she's saying, right?
And read the context. Very important. But if it crosses into to disrespect, say how it makes you feel. If they keep doing it, that's not a test or a game anymore. It's a lack of respect. And if they don't respect you, they don't deserve you. Walk away and protect your energy, time, and money for yourself and someone a lot better. This isn't only about Japanese women, it's about dating everywhere. Don't waste your precious time on someone who disrespects you. Today is the youngest you will ever be, so walk away and use your time to meet women who value you. I will help you find a Japanese love.
Maybe some guys don't want Japanese love. Maybe they don't like to play those games, because if the majority, the biggest, largest percentage do play those games because it's culturally okay. You know what I mean? Like, you can justify it because it's part of the mentality, but who wants that? Like, no, no. That's the reason why a lot of women stay single. It's mind games, it's lying, it's deceiving, it's entrapment, it's emotional blackmailing and exploitation, it's turning the tables, it's switching up on the guy. Like, these things, or why most men refrain from dating women in general in today's society, regardless, where women are at. But I think if a guy wants a Japanese woman, of course he has to know the whole social and cultural dynamics if it comes to dating criteria. And he has to know it before he puts himself in that position, before mistakes are made or before regret hits, right? Because nobody wants to be regretful when it's the first time experience. It's not cool for a guy that goes to the Philippines, for a guy that finds a wife in Vietnam, for a guy that wants to date multiple women in Japan. Like, it has to be an experience that adds to his own understanding of female psychology and also the dating scene and dating culture of the country the woman is residing, her motherland, right? But for me, if I just think about in general female psychology and the whole, I say no, but I mean yes, I give negative criticism, but actually I'm trying to tell you something, right, about the situation, and it's not as harsh as I'm saying with my words, then I'm like, if this is your full time occupation, if this is the thing you invest your time and energy in, maybe it's better just to stay single, to live the corporate life, and to be childless. Maybe that is your future. Maybe that is your reality, because you decided to play the game and then play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So, okay, comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know if you had any experience with a Japanese woman, a Korean woman, or a Chinese one, for example, wherein this game is played when they say one thing, but you get the opposite, and you just got to figure it out for yourself. And you get frustrated, and then you just don't want anything to do with them anymore because they're not being serious, they're not being straightforward, they're not respecting your time, your personal value, the things you have to offer, your finance, your money, whatever. Like, personally, there are like three things I always tell men to say when they date: the first literally few minutes, the first half an hour in. And number three, I always forget, but I'll say the first two because I always remember those at least. Number one is no disrespect, meaning don't mock, don't ridicule, don't insult the guy, regardless if it's done with playful intent. If you're doing it in public and you think it's okay because it gives you joy and pleasure, being sadistic in a way, then you're out. you're not gonna get anything, right? It's over before it ever started. Number two is no cold shoulders or emotional withdrawal. If a guy makes a mistake, give him the opportunity to rectify and do well the next time and prove himself, not because he has to, but because he can show you his worth by actions, right? Through deeds, and then accept that. But don't punish him because of one mistake, switch up on him and give him the cold shoulder, and he's not allowed to do anything. Like that is terrible. That is very terrible to any guy. No guy deserves that, to be fair. Unless, of course, he's physical abusive, but that's a different story, right? That you've got to get away from him. And number three, I don't know why I keep forgetting it, but it's also something to do with, how you communicate with each other. Like, that's the thing. Now I remember. If a guy puts in time, money, effort, attention, everything, he puts his whole being into the relationship, in you as an investment, the relationship, and you want more, and you don't value what you've got, and you only criticize him negatively of what you don't have or is not giving you, and you're just focusing on what you don't have and not focusing on what you have or what you have been given until that point, then that shows again a lack of respect. And then you should just find someone that does all those things, but it's just delusionalism, because you're never going to be satisfied, and leave that guy alone. Like, that is also a form of disrespect. If the guy does what he can, you respect that, you value that, you show gratitude if you want this to continue. If you don't want it and you think you can get more by pushing him to the edge, by triggering him, then you're mistaken. Now, that's something I can share out of own experience, and a lot of Western women, sadly enough, have this mentality. Why? Don't ask me. Mainly because they're highly traumatized of past relationships. Everybody gets their baggage. Everybody has the load that they have to bear. I mean, I'm sorry to hear that, but nobody is the exception to the rule. We're all victims in some type of way. But you don't have to feed off that and treat the next person like poorly just because you had a bad experience. So let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are. Comment, like, and subscribe. The link will be down below. Thank you for watching as usual. Take care, and I'll be seeing you in the next